All right, well, good afternoon. At the outset, let me welcome Carnegie Mellon University's Provost, Dr. Mark Kemet, to our city. He comes from the great city of Pittsburgh, which, as we were just talking about before we walked in, one of those cities that's really gone through a remarkable coming out change. Pittsburgh had very hard times 20, 30 years ago when I used to go there, and today it really is a modern city that's doing very well. This morning I did speak by telephone with Carnegie Mellon University President Dr. Subha Rashesh, who unfortunately cannot be with us today, and I offered my congratulations concerning the news we're about to make, and he offered his thanks for us making this happen. And we agreed next time he comes to New York, I owe him a dinner. Why I owe him a dinner and he doesn't owe me dinner, I don't know, but we'll work it out. Anyways, he wanted to be here, but he couldn't, and he had a good excuse. And this is something that the Provost can certainly represent him well at. Carnegie Mellon, as many of you know, is widely recognized as one of the top schools in the nation in computer science, engineering, design, drama, and other performing and visual arts. So today we're thrilled to announce the creation of Carnegie Mellon's new Integrative media program here in our city. It is an exciting new partnership melding technology and the arts and involving New York City government, Carnegie Mellon, and our host today, Steiner Studios. Now, this new partnership is the fourth created as part of our administration's trailblazing Applied Sciences NYC initiative, overseen by Deputy Mayor for Economic Development, Bob Steele. It's dramatically deepening the pool of engineering talent in our city and strengthening the already robust information technology sector of our economy. And in the years to come, we expect the initiative to spin off hundreds of startup companies and create tens of thousands of jobs. And it will double the number of engineering faculty and graduate students in our city. Carnegie Mellon, which will open its integrative media program here in 2015, is already part of our star-studded academic lineup that's part of the Applied Science Initiative. It is participating, as many of you know, in the Center for Urban Sciences and Progress, which is also being developed here in Brooklyn. And other distinguished schools that are part of the Applied Sciences Initiative include Cornell, Technion, Israel Institute of Technology, NYU, City University of New York, Indian Institute of Technology, and Columbia University. And many of the world's most important information technology companies, including Google and IBM, Microsoft, Cisco, and others, are also taking part in the initiative. Carnegie Mellon's proud tradition of excellence in both engineering and in the arts stretches back more than a century, so I think it's fitting that its new program here will introduce an entirely new feature to the Applied Science Initiative. It will be the first program focused exclusively on the fusion of technology and the arts, a synthesis that is critical to so many creative industries. And the merger of tech and the arts clearly drives social media and online gaming. It also is having an ever bigger impact on film production, design, architecture, and also the the performing and visual arts. And digital technology is expanding the horizons of what is possible in all of those fields. And Steiner Studios, the Navy Yard, and the Brooklyn communities that they neighbor are at the heart of this exciting and innovative environment. Earlier this year, for example, Made in New York Media Center opened here in nearby Dumbo. It is a city partnership with the Independent Filmmaker Project to provide post-production facilities and other resources. The media program here at Steiner Studios, which will occupy space on the lower floors of this newly renovated building, will add Carnegie Mellon students and researchers to this vibrant, creative mix. The program will benefit from the resources and expertise available here at this new facility in what is the largest film and television studio operation on the East Coast, one that will also house Brooklyn College's new Graduate School of Cinema. And it will give students opportunities to engage in rigorous academics as well as hands-on training at the cutting edge of media and sound design, special effects, animation, and more. We do expect that the new initiative, the new and integrative media program here, like the other new applied science programs in our city, will have a positive, transformative impact on New York's future. It will spur innovation and generate jobs in areas where New York's economy is already strong, and that will become even stronger as a result of the new partnerships that we're forging. The city, through our Economic Development Corporation, will invest $3.5 million of taxpayers' funds to help get the program off the ground and support its ongoing operations, but that's an investment that we believe will be recouped many times over. Carnegie Mellon will receive a generous, anonymous, multi-million-dollar gift from a private supporter to use in establishing this important program. So whoever that is, and it isn't me, congratulations to that man or woman. For their part, Carnegie Mellon will, we're confident, benefit tremendously from establishing a presence here in our city, committed to being preeminent in technology and in the arts. So on that note, let me turn the floor over to the president of our city's Economic Development Corporation, which is overseeing this initiative, Kyle Kimball. Kyle?
Thank you very much. Thank you. This is something we're extremely excited about, and when we issued this RFP more than 2 years ago, our goal was really to significantly increase New York City's capacity in the applied sciences and transform the city's economy for generations to come. And really today is another and fourth step in achieving that important goal. After success with the 3 previous announced partnerships that the mayor mentioned, as we thought about the next step forward, we saw really great potential in strengthening New York City's position as a center in an emerging field, and really this was a perfect choice for an academic partner. And Steiner Studios is the East Coast's premier film and television production studio complex, and we are excited to launch this partnership, which will spur growth of this innovative field right here in New York City. And we're particularly proud of our partnership with the Brooklyn Navy Yard to accomplish this. And this new partnership allows the city to build on progress in the field, creating more state-of-the-art academic and creative space in world-class Steiner Studios, and really drawing the best in both in the terms of faculty and students, and encouraging the interdisciplinary partnerships, I might add, that will lead to new applications at the intersection, as the mayor mentioned, of tech, art, and science. And this Applied Sciences Initiative continues to surpass our expectations. Thanks to the mayor and Deputy Mayor Steele for their continued vision and leadership in this and support in getting this done. And really, New York City is well on its way to becoming a global leader in innovation. We're really thrilled by this partnership and look forward to our continued work together in strengthening New York City's economic future. First, as I mentioned, I want to thank the mayor and Deputy Mayor Steele for their vision and leadership, Carnegie Mellon President Sue Rashesh, the Provost, Mark Kamath, the Vice Provost, Thanasis, and the Dean of the Arts, Dan Martin, Doug Steiner, of course, for his partnership, David Ehrenberg, who very excited to work with, Mayor's Office, Commissioner Oliver, and, of course, our Chief Digital Officer, Rachel Hout. As well as our elected officials, Speaker Quinn, Borough President Marty Markowitz, who's here today, Senator Squadron, Assemblyman Joe Lentall behind me, and Councilmember Steve Levin, and as well as the dedicated team at EDC who has stuck with this from the beginning of this process, Patrick O'Sullivan, Lauren Wolf, and Mike Lee. So thank you very much for coming out today, and we're very excited. Thank you.
Kyle, thank you. And also Seth Pinsky, who's Kyle's predecessor, who worked on this for a long time. Film and TV production is a $5 billion plus annual industry in our city, one that employs more than 100,000 people. Under Commissioner Catherine Oliver, the Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment has supported the industry's growth and also helped it adapt to rapid technological change. So, Commissioner Oliver, please tell us about how today's announcement fits into that strategy, if you would.
Okay, well, thank you. We have record film and television production in New York right now, something like 27 primetime shows. We've never been busier in the history of filmmaking in New York, so it's really exciting. There's something like 130,000 New Yorkers that are employed in traditional film and television. That represents an economic impact of over $7 billion a year. 4,000 ancillary businesses benefit from it. And what's even more exciting is the tech sector, the tech and information sector. There's 262,000 people who work in that sector in New York City, and that represents about $30 billion a year. to the local economy. Last year alone, we created over 11,000 new jobs in this sector. So it's so exciting to think about how Carnegie Mellon is going to be rubbing elbows with the creative community here at the Navy Yard, and just imagining new ways to tell stories, new ways to distribute stories, new ways to enhance stories. It's just so exciting. This is the future of content creation, and we couldn't be more thrilled that it's happening right here in Brooklyn. So thanks to the Steiners for their commitment. They were the real game changers in the last few years in our industry, and we thank them so very much for their dedication. And of course, we have to thank the mayor for his great leadership. The advances in media and technology that have happened in the last 12 years would never have happened here if it wasn't for his commitment, his innovation, and his leadership. So thank you.
Kathy, I beg to differ. All of those things you said, you just should have inserted your own name instead of mine. And I think everybody does understand the difference that you've made to our city and to so many people. Next, Carnegie Mellon University Provost, Dr. Mark Kemet.
Thank you. So Carnegie Mellon's extremely excited to be participating with New York City here in Brooklyn at Steiner Studios to create Carnegie Mellon University's Integrative Media Program, our new campus to be located here at Steiner Studios in the Brooklyn Navy Yard. So, U.S. News & World Report says that Carnegie Mellon is the only university in the country with top 10 ranked programs in computer science, engineering, design, and the arts. We happen to agree with that. This unique configuration has produced world-leading programs in areas that merge technology and the arts and design. These include animation, social media, game design, mobile apps, visual effects and sound design, additive manufacturing, smart spaces, among others. CMU's Integrative Media Program here at Steiner Studios will incorporate 6 master's degrees, including degrees in emerging media, in game design, in computational data sciences, and others. These will be connected to a set of 8 undergraduate interdisciplinary concentrations in creative industries, which serve as a new liberal arts option for our entire set of students. These programs have an interdisciplinary nature, that's one of our specialties, and are offered collaboratively by Carnegie Mellon's College of Fine Arts. Dan Martin, who is here, is the dean of that college, our School of Computer Science, our College of Engineering, and our Tepper School of Business. Under the direction of Vice Provost for Design, Arts, and Technology, Thanasis Rakakis, who is behind me to my right, over 40 of our expert technology arts faculty across our Pittsburgh campus will join forces with an initial cohort of 6 faculty and staff at the New York City campus for offering our New York City-based curriculum. Our students and faculty will have the opportunity to partner with many of the leading creative industry experts in New York City. In training for creative industries, CMU aims to integrate industry, community, and academic perspectives. We are doing this in Pittsburgh and are excited to develop another blended hub at the center of creativity in the United States here in New York City. I'd like to also thank the mayor. I'd like to thank Doug and David Steiner for inviting CMU to lead this program, and David Steiner in particular, who is one of our alums. David, can't thank you enough for your support from the very beginning of this project. I'd like to thank the EDC. I'd like to thank Dan Martin and Thanasis, who I've already mentioned. We're very excited with this opportunity. We look forward to working to make it a great success, and we know that it will be. Thank you very much.
Mark, thank you. Next, Doug Steiner, the chair of Steiner Studios, will say a few words about Steiner Studios' role in all of this.
I want to welcome everyone to 25 Washington Avenue, which is our newest addition to the lot and the future home of the Carnegie Mellon University Integrative Media Program. I also want to recognize Mayor Bloomberg, New York City Economic Development Corporation President Kyle Kimball, my good friend and savior for this business in New York, the Commissioner of the Mayor's Office of Film, Media, and Entertainment, Catherine Oliver, Brooklyn Borough President Marty Markowitz, State Senator Daniel Squadron, State Assemblyman and head of the Brooklyn delegation, Joe Lenthal, Councilmember Steve Levin, Carnegie Mellon University, Mark Hamlet, and Brooklyn Navy Yard CEO David Ehrenberg. This building was originally constructed in 1941. It has now been faithfully restored, and with its radar towers dramatically lit up at night, stands as our iconic addition to the New York skyline. The building totals 225,000 square feet of support and academic space, including a crew feed area, mill shops for set construction, wardrobe workshops, props and set dressing areas, production and post-production offices, sound stages, and photo studios. Thanks to so many of you here today, business is booming. The theatrical trade unions are at virtually full employment. These represent high-paying jobs in an industry that wants to be in New York, an industry that can thrive and prosper here. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Dr. Subra Suresh, the president of Carnegie Mellon, who unfortunately cannot be with us here today, and all of those from Carnegie Mellon and the New York City Economic Development Corporation who helped make this school a reality here at Steiner. The convergence of media and technology is real, and its epicenter belongs in New York. No other university has Carnegie Mellon's strengths in the arts, as well as software, hardware, business, and science. My father, David Steiner, is a proud CMU alumnus and has always been a huge supporter of the school. So it is with immense family pride that we can be home to such an innovative program, where the students can look out their windows and see the real-life application of their studies on the Steiner campus. The program that is being created here will integrate content creation, distribution, and consumption in the world of media and technology, and further New York City's leading role in this burgeoning economic sector. Thank you.
Doug, thank you. And now we have to listen to Brooklyn's biggest cheerleader. He is shy and retiring, and it's hard to get him to say what's on his mind, but maybe we'll be lucky enough to have him open up just a touch. The borough president of Brooklyn, Marty Markowitz.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very, very much. And I just got to tell you, we have to set the record straight just at the outset. Of the 4 applied sciences institutes, you know that 2 of them happen to be where New York City begins, which is Brooklyn. So, Mayor, thank you very, very much. Honored. At Carnegie Mellon, I congratulate you, and of course our mayor and Bob Steele and Kyle, Seth Pinsky and David Ehrenberg and Andrew Kimball, David and Doug Steiner. I know, and Mrs. Steiner, you cavell over the great success, and I really mean that. Steiner's Studios has meant so much to us. There's no question that there was a time that we were known as Hollywood East. However, now we're known, really, L.A., La La Land is known as Brooklyn Far West. So I thank you very, very much. What a better place for integrative media program than the Brooklyn Navy Yard, one leg of Brooklyn's growing tech triangle, certainly we're one of America's hottest hubs for innovation. I have to say to our Provost from Pittsburgh, the land, the city of 57 varieties Heinz, you are now going to be home here in Williamsburg to the largest culinary, we're the culinary epicenter of artisanal and organic. So it's going to be a change, but just to let you know. Now, when I first took office, there were only a handful of startups in Brooklyn, and now there are more than 500. And every day, more of the world's hottest startups keep popping up in Brooklyn. As a matter of fact, the Brooklyn Tech Triangle is growing so fast that it's projected in the next 2 years, the number of employees will be 18,000 and double its economic impact to nearly $6 billion a year. There's no question that Carnegie Mellon will cement Brooklyn as the world's most exciting science, research, and innovation hub. And of course, that means for all of us in the whole city, jobs, jobs, jobs. At the same time, in today's global economy, getting those jobs is more difficult than ever because we all know that students are competing with each other, but with graduates from across the world, which means we have to work harder and smarter. And that's why innovative programs like Carnegie Mellon's Integrative Media Program are so important. They give students the edge they need to become the generations of leaders that create the solutions of tomorrow. Students studying everything from technology to art, design, and sciences, humanities can learn firsthand from the world's best filmmakers, game design architects, computer engineers, and I might add, the campus surrounding here. because nowhere are there more character or characters than Brooklyn. And if you don't believe that, take a look at Doug Steiner. That's all I can tell you. So here at Steiner Studios on Brooklyn's big stage, Carnegie Mellon is ready for its close-up. Welcome to the big time. Lights, camera, action. Congratulations to you. Thank you.
Marty, thank you. The continued growth of Steiner Studios and the Brooklyn Navy Yard are great news for this community and its representative at City Hall, Councilman Steve Levin. Councilman?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. It's very gratifying to be here today at the announcement of this great partnership. And what this really demonstrates to me is the importance of having vital partnerships, making sure that every aspect of an endeavor is covered. And so in looking at the stage today, we see Doug Steiner, who as a businessman with his family invested in the Navy Yard, invested in Brooklyn, put in that capital in the promise of making this area a long-term vital place. And then we have the team at the Navy Yard, which has created the environment that allows our creative businesses to thrive. We have our great borough president, Marty Markowitz, who has continued to be the voice for the borough and advocating for the resources to come here and the businesses to come here and the recognition that Brooklyn is due to be made. We have Catherine Oliver and her great team who have created the environment for film to thrive here in New York City. Obviously, Carnegie Mellon bringing the expertise and the academic gravitas and institutional support here to New York City. And most importantly, we have the mayor and his team who have been so forward-thinking on the issue of economic development and where it's going to be going for the next generation. And he deserves, he and his team, so much credit for being on the cutting edge and envisioning where our economy is going, how we can make sure that we're creating the groundwork for that to thrive. And this is just the latest example. So, Mayor, I congratulate you. This is a wonderful achievement, and it's been a remarkable time working with you. Thank you.
Steve, thank you. Also with us is this area's representative in the State Senate, a big advocate for the Navy Yard, State Senator Daniel Squadron. Dan?
Thank you very much. And not just are 2 of the 4 applied sciences centers in Brooklyn, 2 of them are in my district. So, and Governor's Island, I'm expecting we'll have an announcement before January 1st on the 5th. But it actually is pretty extraordinary. If you look at it, when this idea of an applied sciences center was put out there, everyone was hopeful they'd get the 1. And this administration has figured out how to get 4 out of that great idea. Roosevelt Island wasn't the end of this, it was the beginning of this. And it's no coincidence that we're here along the waterfront, just as the Cornell Technion is along the waterfront. It's part of a real change in how the entire city is being thought about. And we're moving back to our waterfront. We're doing it with open space, with the Harbor Park. We're doing it with jobs, too. Since the Great Recession started, the number of jobs at the Navy Yard has increased enormously. I think it's about 40%. And these are good jobs. These aren't poverty wage jobs. These are the kinds of jobs that people want in this economy. Since the state and city collaborated on the tax credit, the film industry has absolutely exploded, many multiples the number of jobs that it used to have. There's an extraordinary role here for the future of the city that happens because of the visionaries who are standing here. And so I want to say to Doug Steiner, who's done so much at the Navy Yard, Andrew Kimball and Seth Pinsky, wherever they went, that's less good than where they were before, the current administrations in both cases, this is really what we want to and need to be doing in this city. And none of these things are independent. They are all linked by our waterfront. They're all linked by a really smart, efficient use of resources that other people had given up on. And when I talk about Governor's Island, the reason I do is this can't be the end. This has to just be the beginning. Because, as nice as the city is, I'm sure the mayor was right, Pittsburgh is. A whole lot of people from all kinds of cities that aren't Brooklyn and aren't New York are desperate to be here, and we got to figure out how to keep getting them. Thank you all very much.
Dan, thank you. And now let me turn the floor over to Daniel's counterpart in the Assembly, Assemblyman Joseph Lentil.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. So you see, by now, being the assemblyman from the district, you're last on the ballot. You're on the bottom. And usually you get to speak last. And so it's really a challenge, however, because you have to figure out what to say after everybody has said everything and you have nothing to say. But I do have something to say. First of all, I know that this is an important occasion because Doug Steiner is wearing a sports jacket. Secondly, I know it's important because Mrs. David Steiner is here as well as David Steiner. And I want to tip my hat, if I had one, to both of you and to Doug for once again showing the way. You didn't get into this. You got into this business to produce movies and to produce television shows. I don't think we knew that you were going to be higher education advocates and showing the way for New York City. And that happened because of a lot of important people, Mark, like Mayor Bloomberg and Catherine Oliver and the representatives that you have here, the assemblyman, the borough president, leave me out, the senator, the borough president, the councilman, and also all of the folks that were mentioned, especially the Navy Yard personnel who have allowed this studio to flourish in a way that permits Brooklyn College to be here to provide jobs for the future of movies and drama and TV in our great city. And to understand that Williamsburg and this part of Williamsburg, this is South Williamsburg to me, is the tech capital of the world. We know that. We live through it now. There probably are more techies per square foot than there are anywhere else in America living here in Williamsburg. So you've chosen, Mark, the appropriate place to come and collaborate with Carnegie Mellon University along with Steiner Studios and providing the mechanism that we so need to integrate the arts along with technology and the media world, architecture. It's so important to us. And I know that in the future, this place will be the place to make movies in the United States of America. Marty jokes about this being Hollywood East, but actually this is going to surpass Hollywood because we have the wherewithal to do even better than Hollywood ever did. And it's all because of you. And I thank you very much.
Joe, thank you. Before taking topics on question, let me just summarize today's announcement for our Spanish-speaking audience. Estamos anunciando una nueva colaboración entre la ciudad, la Universidad Carnegie Mellon y los estudios Steiner. Creará un nuevo centro posgrado en el arsenal naval de Brooklyn enfocado en la integración de las informáticas y las artes. And with that,